It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And really, our mission is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute the big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Chip, who's in the building, who's not only an entrepreneur, not only a photographer, a videographer, a media expert, and just a cool human being. He's in the building to talk about what we all want to talk about, which is business. What's going on, Chip? How are you?
Hey, Che, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here on the show today.
We're glad to have you, by the way, and congratulations on your recent marriage. I think you, it's been 30 days now?
Yeah, about 30, 35. Valentine's Day, we just celebrated 1 month. So,
well,
30 days and counting and going there. Yep.
Well,
and that's an
entrepreneur. Big smile on your face.
You know. Yes. You got to make sure. Yep, we're doing well. I can't complain.
Good. So let me jump into. I always like to ask the question as we get started. It was the obvious answers. Entrepreneurs are tuning in before we talk about who you are and how famous you are and how great you are. Is the proverbial. Why are business owners today, just from your view of the world, why are they still struggling to not only attract clients, but to have a profitable business in today's time where there's Instagram, they can go get motivated on any given day. There's any groups they can join on Facebook to be a part of something if they don't want to be by themselves, or they can go to ChatGPT and write whatever they want to write. Yet 98% of businesses are still failing within the first year. What's your view of the world, my friend?
Yeah, I think it's really what you just said. I think that there is too much information. So when there's abundance of information, sometimes you did what? Paralysis by analysis, right? You overanalyze things. You go through so many things and you're like, oh my goodness, I can do everything. I can have a website, wireframe. Just recently, I was in Austin, Texas doing a presentation on AI. And I knew that I had a lot of tools. And I gave people prompts, 5 prompts, right? As a freebie, a giveaway at the end of my speech. And they took those 5 prompts, but then guess what? They wanted more and more. So I think there's a dearth of people just want information. So sometimes we become information junkies. Now, there's an old saying, Che, that says information changes situations, but really it's the implementation of that information that can change your business and your situations. Because how many PDFs do you have right now on your laptop, on your computer? How many free downloads, how many e-courses, how many e-books that you started and you probably never finished? And some people market that way, just knowing that you're never going to finish that e-course. And I'll give you 6 hours of content, and I know you'll never go through all 6 hours.
And as you were talking, saying that, very few people would. As you were talking, saying that, there's 2 questions come up. Obviously, number one, you talked about AI. And for folks that are listening, take a moment, talk about having to change as an entrepreneur and even be open to new technology. You're someone that's been in the photography business for a number of years, in the video business for a number of years. Things change. Here's the question. AI, and why it's important for someone to say, I at least got to learn it. I can't avoid it as a business owner. Or maybe they can. We'll hear what you have to say, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, my major premise is that AI is going to make your life easier. You're going to have to use it as a business owner sooner or later, or else you'll be left behind. So it's not a hot take. It may be an unpopular opinion, but no matter what it is, it's going to, whether it's going to help you write an outline for a blog, or if it's going to even, sometimes I'll just read something today about scientists are using it to write scientific papers. Now, they're not accurate, some of them, of course, at all. But I'm just saying it's going to help us to do things. For instance, how I used in my business this last holiday season, I did holiday photo shoots. I had my wife, fiance at the time, I needed some inspiration for a decor. She does my decor. So I pulled up on AI a decor set that I wanted. I called the colors. I wanted black and gold. I wanted elegant. And guess what? She matched exactly what I pulled up on the AI. And guess what? I put the AI photo as a set, as a promo. And then when it got there, people were like, oh my goodness, it looks just like the photo. And we didn't have any of that furniture. We didn't have any of that set, the tree. But I knew what I wanted in AI and she matched it. You understand what I'm saying? So usually I'm waiting for the designer to send me the pictures. Now I'm doing what I want and sending it to the designer. You understand? So the power is kind of shifted that way. Now, will it always be that way? Well, we don't know, but guess what? Sometimes you're paying for mock-ups. You know that, right, Jay? Sometimes
Yeah.
you're paying for people to give you a mock-up. Now I'm just doing a mock-up and I'm telling them what I want instead of me paying you for the mock-up.
And how does that relate to making sure that you're you know, your own intuition, creativity is still involved? Is because you're telling AI what it wants and it's just doing the work for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's two
Yeah.
type of things he's speaking here, just to be clear. And we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are dualpreneurs, by the way, that watch. They're full-time moms or they're full-time dads. They have a full-time entrepreneur job. They're also involved in their community. They're like, Shay, this sounds good. Can this help me save time? We're going to find out for a moment. They also take care of the kids. I mean, they got a lot going on. So slow down for a moment if you can and talk about maybe two ways to use AI. You talked about one way to use it, how you use it, which is being able to create something for you. And can it also do research? Can it also, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking him to do this, because he's a creative at heart. And so I want to hear his perspective on how you can still have your creativity, no matter if you're writing or doing what he's doing, and still
Yeah.
use AI as the tool. Do you mind speaking to that?
Yeah. Sure, sure. One of the things that I always tell people with AI, and I didn't even know we were going to go down this road, but I'm glad we did because it's so relevant now. But what I want to tell people is that you tell AI what you want, and then you give it samples. For instance, I want you to write a blog post in my voice. Visit my website, chipdizard.com. Look at the last 5 blog posts, then create an outline in my voice and tone. So with these prompts, you're going to be very specific. So can it write something? So it's like feeding a beast, right? The more you feed the beast, it's like garbage in, garbage out. If you give it garbage in, it's going to get garbage out. But if you get it good information, it'll give you better information. Not perfect, but better information. So blog outlines. I'm writing a 1,500 word blog post right now. I needed an outline for this specific topic for photography. It's giving me that outline. Could it write it? Probably, but I don't trust it to write it for me. I want my own words, my own voice. And then, but I want it to give me a guidepost because it triggers my memory. You understand? When I had to come up with an outline, one thing I tell people all the time, Che, is that entrepreneurs are scared of Microsoft Word or Google Docs, a blinking cursor. There's nothing that's fearful because you don't know where to start sometimes. I know you can just type but you don't know where to start. So you're looking at blinking cursor. Let AI help you, right? Get a head start on it. It's like TSA pre-check or clear. If you can get ahead of the line, get ahead of the line, but do it responsibly. Okay, so blog outlines, and I said a design inspiration. Third thing you can use it for, at least, for instance, if you just need trip planning or something like that, or headline generation. I do it all the time for advertising. I do a lot of Facebook and Instagram marketing, headline generation, ad creation, all the time. When you're writing something for an ad, you can get stumped, and you just need some inspiration sometimes. So AI can help you with that ad creation, the headline creation.
And you talked about prompts, and is this something that you're helping entrepreneurs out with as well these days, or is this something that you're just kind of picking up and adding to your tool belt because it's helping you? Is this something you're also going to be working with entrepreneurs to help them?
Yeah, I'm developing some products right now for that, and I'll send you a link. If people want these 5 free prompts, I'll make sure your your audience gets these prompts that I'm talking about. And this is the things that help you out to help you get better results. So this is the thing that I'm testing right now, and right now I have a lot of freebies, and I'm showing you exactly what you can get out of these things to help you, especially if you're a dualpreneur and you don't have a lot of time to figure out what's going on. There's something that just came out. I can't remember the name of it with ChatGPT, but just recently, it's not public yet, but where you can put a prompt in and it can create a video for you. I don't know if you've seen that already. A whole
No.
90-second video. Almost, it's not released to everybody because people can use it for bad too. So we like this stuff for good, but you know how sideways it can go. So it's in a beta and people are testing it and they're retesting it just to make sure that it can be used, and they try to break it before they release it. So I can't remember the name of it, but it's going to come out probably by the end of this year or even earlier where you can put prompts in and videos, short videos, like 60 seconds. It could be, man walking on beach with surfboard. If you need some B-roll, if you know what B-roll is to the audience, it's some supplementary footage, or if you need something to go with your video. A lot of times we look for stock video. I shoot a lot of video like you, and sometimes we need video of, let's just say, we're in DC, the Lincoln Memorial at noontime. I need a drone, not a drone shot, a sweeping shot of Lincoln Memorial at noontime, or whatever it is, and it will give me that sweeping shot.
Then, as we're talking, change is kind of big. And ladies and gentlemen, in a minute, I'm going to ask to talk about who he is, and he'll give you his background. But you can hear where his heart is initially, where we're speaking it. And I'm curious, change. How do you be able to move towards change? I was having a conversation, and myself included. I'm guilty. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm raising my hand. I'm probably the only person. And I was like, okay, I got a community on Facebook. I got to take a community off of Facebook now. Not take it off, but I'm opening up another community that's not on Facebook, using one of the platforms. And this whole change, even for me, I was cringing because I was like, I don't have time to stop and slow down to do something else. So, and I know y'all might think, wait, Shay, change? Yes, it's very difficult even for myself. And I have to go through this whole mental process because I like to do things the same way. So my question to you, Chip, is how do you deal with change and doing something different and moving beyond your comfort zone? I know it's a loaded question, but in business, you can feel like you're adding one more thing, but it has to be done. So what's the question? How do you deal with change and expand your comfort zone?
Yeah, it's really about efficiency, right? For me. And no one likes change. I don't think there's anybody in the world who really wants to change. I know I don't. I like putting things in the same place, the same way, just because, I'm used to it, right? I'm used to it. It's comfortable. But if there's an easier way to save you time, for instance, there was a way that I'm a photographer by trade like you. And when we do this thing, we go through photos one by one. I shoot weddings, and I shoot maybe 1,500 to 2,000 photos at a wedding. And I used to go one by one to look at every photo to see if one was blurry, to see if one was not blurry, to see if I could choose that one. Now I have software that has AI that knows my preferences instead of me doing that one by one. Now that's changed. It was hard for me to give up that control because I like control. If you're a photographer, if you're creative, you don't trust anybody with your art, your work, a machine, right, Jay? Am I right? I'm just saying you don't trust.
Yeah, right, twice. Yes.
Yeah. You don't trust people with your work to go through your photos that you know that you've taken. Now I'm handing that baby over to say, you know what? I'm training you like a chat GPT to choose my preferences. Is it perfect? Of course not. But does it save me time? Oh my God. So yes, it was very difficult at the time. It was very painful. But I said, you know what? I need my time back. It's not a good use of my time to be sitting here looking at 3,000 photos as an entrepreneur. I need to do something that no one else can do in my business. That's the key thing. What can no one else do in my business? That is market. That is be there. That is be the face to spread the word. I can get a machine to choose a photo, see if it's blurry or if it's not. Okay. Yes, my eyesight is good, but guess what? The machine knows what I do. I can do that. And instead, nobody else is going to market the way I market. I can't get a machine to do that. Okay. So
I agree.
It's a loaded question, but it's true. It's hard. But at the end of the day, time is money. If somebody said, you know what? If somebody said, I'm going to give you this time, I'll give you this money, but you won't get this time back. You can never get time back, ever. But you can always get more money. You can always make more money.
Always. Folks are curious, who are you? Like Shay Brown, I hear this guy talk about who in the LL Cool J is this person that's speaking over there? What is his backstory? Yeah. And what was that defining moment that led him to doing what he's doing now? So, the question, who are you, man? What's the backstory that led you to what you're doing now?
Great question. The Cliff Notes version is I'm accidental entrepreneur. I was a school teacher in Baltimore City Public Schools. I was teaching media, and one of my business mentors told me, "Hey, you should go full time. You should do that." I said, "Man, I'm not ready." This is back in 2015. I said, "Man, I'm happy. I got 6 weeks to 8 weeks off during the summertime. I was teaching school at video at a nice high school in the city. I had no issues. So I'm not one of those guys. I actually like my job. It wasn't bad. I mean, teacher salary wasn't that great, but I was making great side money too. So and I had 6 weeks off. So I was good for the time. But then I thought about it. I said, I could do better. I need to stretch myself. And I started doing some work for some nonprofits and some other nonprofits, some churches, some other nonprofits. And then I started doing weddings. And then once I started doing weddings, I started doing events and I kind of event photography. And it just kind of snowballed from there. But the key was my background in marketing because before I was teaching, I was a marketer, outside sales rep for a company. I was doing marketing and sales, and I figured that if I can get the marketing right, here's the thing: you could always get a better skill set, but if your mindset is not right, that's the thing. Skill, I can learn that. I can learn to be a better photographer. I can get better equipment. That is not going to make me a better photographer, but my mindset and my marketing set. Once I had that, that's when I knew I was going to succeed in this business. And I said, okay, I can do this. And I've been very fortunate to do that with a background. So it's not for everybody. Like we talked off camera, there's some days I'm like, what in the entire world is happening here? Because I was a dual entrepreneur for a long time, like like 7, 8 years, and I did very well as a dual entrepreneur. And I had no intentions of ever doing this full time, none. Like. And then one of my mentors challenged me and pushed me, and I just went from there. You know.
Well, I'm so glad you did, man. By the way, he does amazing work, and I was a genius in the marketing brilliance, as you can hear right now. But his ability to capture the moment and create what I would call emotional moments. By the way, he's not. You keep saying a photographer and a videographer, but he's not just a photographer and videographer. You could probably throw a rock and find someone to do that. But he's someone that can capture the emotional moment so that you have it for a memory forever, man. And I just truly admire your work. You guys got to make sure you go visit his website. He does a lot of things, but check it out, by the way. As we're speaking now, there are a number of folks that want to know, what do you enjoy most about what you're doing now? I mean, what do you really just enjoy about your life now these days?
Yeah, I enjoy. I'm at a point we're not at a retirement age, but I'm at a point where, helping. Like I'm mentoring now. I'm giving back not only to other creators, photographers, people who are stuck, who feel like they're stuck, and telling them, "Hey, this is how you do it." I think that we should be a mentor once we get a certain income or a certain level. I think you can mentor somebody. Someone always told me you can teach somebody anything as long as you're 2 weeks ahead of them, right? I used to laugh at that. I was like, "Are you serious? That's one pay
I
period."
like that.
I've heard that before. I didn't come up with this. This is one of my mentors told me this 2 weeks ahead. But I'm really enjoying that. I have some mentees now that I'm going through, and I'm just taking that time and showing them that they can do that. Because a lot of times, like I said, you can find stuff on YouTube, you can find stuff on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, but there's something about somebody sitting down in person, speaking into your life, and actually taking the time to say, "Hey, you know what? I like that, but you could do better." Somebody challenged me. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have somebody sit in my face and say, "Hey, Chip, I know you can do better." And in my heart, I was like, "I can?" And guess what? I did better. Because if you knew better, you would do better, right, Shay? If you knew
Oh,
better, but
absolutely.
sometimes we don't know what we don't know, right? And
Mhm.
that's where the information comes. And we can only, as mentors, only just give people the information. They have to do something with it because everybody won't take that, right? That teach a man to fish and give a man or woman to fish. Give a fish or teach a woman to fish. So
Yeah.
we're teachers of it, but I also, being a former educator, I'm always an educator, but to see the implementation, I have some of my former students right now in college and in graduate school who work with me, work for me, and that makes me happier than anything because at the end of our days, all we have is what we've done for other people. They're not going to say Che made X amount of dollars for himself. What did he do on his show to help me get my business to the next level? What did he say to me when I was down and I knew I couldn't pay this bill? How did he help me? That one thing that he said that could change my life. And that's what I want. I want to be that guy and that person that I can pour into you and tell you the truth and just say that, because we need one more thing, Jay. We need people that love us and respect us, but that are not impressed by us. I'll say that again. We need people that love and respect us, but they're not impressed by us. Okay? They need to speak truth to power to you. If you don't have that person in your life right now, find that person, because that person will help you tremendously. And they will see through everything that you're giving them and say, you can do better. And I believe that.
I love it, man. We have a segment here called Today is My January 1st. And for those folks that wait every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is the moment you wait for. You get to say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. Doesn't that feel good? For all the new folks, you tune in for the very first time, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We're glad to have you here. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. Today is my January 1st means our past, no matter how great the past is or how, challenging the past is, the past no longer equals your future. So my question for Chip is really twofold. Number one, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And number two, what was a challenge you had, maybe a setback you had that you had to bounce back from, and how did you do it? If there was any, maybe your life's been perfect. I don't know, but we'll find out shortly, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to find out shortly.
Well, great question. January 1st, we always think of new beginnings, right? So, but I'm going to flip it just a little bit. I'm saying today is your January 1st, whatever day this is. This is going to make a decision that today matters and every day matters and you matter. Okay. All right. The business first, but if you don't take care of yourself, one of the things that I noticed that with me, with my setback, was when I saw my father declining in health, and I saw some things that he was doing, and as great of a worker and great of as a teacher he was, an educator, and he's done so much for other people. He didn't take care of himself like he took care of other people. So if today is your January 1st, we're going to put our oxygen mask on first. Then we're going to help other people. That's what we're going to do today of our January 1st, whatever that is. And it's okay to be selfish. And today matters. And today you're going to think about yourself. That's what I didn't do in the first part of my business. I helped everybody else. But I didn't help myself. I was just watching a thing on TV, and a lot of business owners put so much into their business, then sometimes they forget to put the stuff into themselves, to their family, to their marriage, to their relationship. So if today's your January 1st, I want you to put your oxygen mask on first, because that's what I didn't do. I didn't do that at first. Now I have balance. I have weekends off. I have boundaries. And those, if my January 1st today, I'm creating those boundaries by just saying no, I'm saying yes, and I'm creating those things right now that benefit me. And it's okay to be selfish, because when you're selfish with yourself, what good am I if I can't help myself? I can't help anybody else. And unfortunately, I saw my father go that way. And I said, you know what? I got to do better. He helped everybody else. At the end, he didn't help himself. So God rest his soul, Dad.
Man, thanks a lot for sharing. Thanks for being so transparent. We really appreciate that. One of my favorite questions to ask is, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? Now, you just shared a story with your father, but you've had so many mentors. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll frame it for the folks that are watching at home. Chip's had so many mentors along this journey of life. It's almost unfair for him to reach out and grab any one. But if he had to grab one lesson he learned from any of his mentors, that he wants to take that lesson and pass it on to you, you get a chance to benefit. And as you're listening at home right now, this is when you get a chance to lean in a little bit. Because you're like, whoa, I get to take a lesson and use it for the rest of my life. There's a lifetime benefit of being here. Absolutely. So the question over to you, Chip, is what's one of the best pieces of advice that you've ever been given from any of your mentors?
Yeah, it's real basic. One of the best pieces of advice for me is really with treating everybody with respect, because you never know. You could be it could be a janitor, it could be a CEO of a company, it could be a wedding guest. The referrals will come, but if you treat everybody like they are important, you never have to worry about clout chasing or do anything like that. That's the thing. I treat you, I speak to you. If you know me, Jay, and you know me, I'll speak to everybody. If I don't know you, I'm not going to ignore you. Act like I'm better than anybody, because at the end of our days, that's all we have is our name and our reputation, because that's worth more than any money that could ever buy. Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs, and I've seen this, that make a lot more money than me, but they're not the nicest people. But sometimes the nice people do finish first, right? I know nice guys sometimes finish last. That's what the saying says. But nice ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that's the advice I've gotten, to treat everybody with respect, which we already know, but to really, really hone in on that when you're going to conferences, when you know what I mean. Because there's times that I've even had where I've had situations where I may have wronged someone and not known it,
Mhm.
and then they come up to me years later. You know what, Chip? You did this and you didn't speak to me in this. I said, you know what? I'm sorry. Charge my head and not my heart. And knowing just how to take criticism and constructively, you know, because like everything you hear is another piece of advice I heard. It's like criticism is like going to Walmart or a supermarket. You leave some stuff on the shelf and you put some stuff in your cart, and you have to know what's what's for you and what's not for you, and it's okay, and it's okay, And I don't. And one last piece of advice. I know you said one, but one really big piece of advice before I make any big business decision, I have like I want to say a board of directors, but I run it through some wise people before it's a business. If I'm taking out this big loan, if I'm thinking about getting a building for my business or getting a studio or renting something, major equipment over a certain amount, I run it by people that I trust, that I respect, because I really believe with the wisdom comes with different opinions, okay, that are not mine. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you think you know everything, you have to know that you start from nothing and other people's opinion. That's how I built my business. One of my former grooms actually is one of my best advisors. One of my first wedding I ever did in 2010, and he's still to this day one of my business advisors. I run stuff by him. Say, hey, what do you think about this idea? He said, it's okay, but you can do this. Or he said, hey, that's a great idea. You know what I mean? So those are the advice. I know I gave more than one, but treat people well, business advisors, and then make sure that you have those right folks all around you.
I love it. What do you do for fun, man, when you're not out saving the world
Oh
and
man,
having fun and
man.
treating everybody like they friend, they friend? Like, what do you do for fun these days?
Man, fun. Yes, yes. Well, my wife and I get to say that now. We love to travel. We oh my gosh, we just love to travel. We're foodies. We go out. We just have a fun time together. I'm enjoying this second half that I call it, with her. I like to golf. I don't golf as much as I used to. I love just any activities. I like pickleball, believe it or not. I don't know how I got into this. In my development, they have a pickleball court. So when I get the chance during the summertime, I play that. So yeah, we just love traveling and love just going
Well, you
out
can't leave us
and
hanging.
having
You said
fun.
travel 4 times, and everybody's like, well, where's he like to travel to? I mean, you can't just leave us
Oh
hanging.
yeah,
Ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen, I'm not gonna
yeah,
let that
yeah.
happen.
Well, we love the
Don't worry. He
Caribbean
has to pick at least one or
everywhere.
two places him and his wife have
Yeah,
been to that they enjoy, so we can
yes,
all understand. Does he like to go to Washington D.C.? Washington D.C. is a beautiful
yeah,
place to visit. Although he's right around the corner, but what's one or two places you
yeah.
really enjoy, man, and why?
Well,
Don't leave us hanging.
yeah, well, yeah, well, Mexico. We went to a place in Mexico that was really nice, Cancun, a resort. We've been to Puerto Rico. We love the Caribbean. We're one of my favorite places. If anybody can go, I love Africa. I've been to Africa. I haven't taken my wife there yet, but I think that if you're African American, I think every African American should at least try to go to Africa if you can afford it. It's one of the best trips I've ever taken, and going there. But we love travel overseas and doing staycations. It could be in it could be here in Maryland where I live in the Maryland area, but we love Florida, Disney, things like that. So that's just those places where you can get away, have
Cool.
fun, and create memories, man. Because that's all we have, right? Memories, and we just love it. So I'm really enjoying where we are now, and just with business, where there are challenges, of course, there's always challenges, but
Always.
I think that if you have the unwavering faith that you will prevail in the end, that it will work out. I'm not trying to say to just be optimistic, because you got to face the brutal facts, right? That you will have challenges, but at the end of the day, you know that you can come on top because you have a system in place and you have people around you that support you. And you have a belief in that you can really achieve what your goals are as a dualpreneur entrepreneur. I know it can happen. I'm happy for so many people. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for other people that do it. I could just go down the list of people because you all inspire me. Iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? So that
No,
happens
no,
for me.
it's perfect, man. I love it. Thanks for sharing. I love Mexico. It's one of our favorite places to travel as well. We
Yeah,
love Cancun and Riviera Maya and so forth. So
Cabo.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
had a chance to do some cool things. I've only been to Africa once, by the way, but it was certainly magical for 2 weeks. As we come
yeah.
down the home stretch, two-part question. Number one, obviously, thanks for being here. We certainly appreciate your time. But two questions. Number one, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days, if any, if your firm's taking on any clients? I don't know if you are or not, but you'll let us know. And number two, how can folks best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation over and beyond today?
Yeah, well, we're taking clients for branding. We're not doing as many weddings as we used to, but branding, headshots, and more marketing pieces. And if you're creative, you're looking at a photography or creative space, videography, I'm taking a few more mentees on board. And then to get in contact with me, just my website, chipdizard.com, or on Instagram or Facebook. If you just type Chip Dizárd, what's on the screen, and you'll see all of my information. Pretty easy to find out there. To respond to the DM. Just say that you saw me on the business late night show, okay? The number one business late night show. Just make sure you say that, and I'll make sure that I will get you to the right. I'll make sure you will not be in spam. I'll say that. Because
Well,
sometimes you get a
thank you,
lot of
man.
spam messages. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
But
But thank
yeah,
you so much for being on the Happy
I like
Entrepreneur
it.
Show. We appreciate it. You said it earlier, but it's so true. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. And you're giving us the most precious resource you have, which is your time. So thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
And excuse me. And thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of this. Without you, there is no show. So we appreciate the shares. We appreciate the comments. I love to say this every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I never get tired of saying it. And that is, you're amazing. Even as you're watching right now, no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what you're going through, you're still awesome. You're still incredible. Even if your bank account don't reflect how good you are, or it does reflect how good you are someone's doing something really special. And today, indeed, is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name is still, it hasn't changed, Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone, and we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Talk to you later, Chip. Peace, everybody.